What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike Sieben. I am a 29-year-old full-time Amazon FBA wholesale seller. This video, we are going to show you the easiest way to get started in online arbitrage. This video is going to be run by a friend of mine who came to speak with my elite wholesale group last Wednesday. He's going to break down exactly the easiest way to get started with online arbitrage. Before we hop into it though, guys, if you guys like this video and like this channel, please consider smashing that like button. Make sure that you're subscribed so you can get more videos like this in the future. Let's get right into it.
We'll hop into my screen and do some live sourcing. This is literally the exact stuff you're about to see is what I do to spend. You know, I'm at like 148 so far this month in terms of inventory spend. Tons of profitable stuff in these streets. This is exactly how I find the exact tools and all that. So you can hop on screen share here and do some live sourcing in terms of the OA side of things using Keepa and SellerAmp right here. Cool. So you guys can see my screen right here.
Yes, sir.
Cool. All right. So yeah, so literally just starting off on a search for great value, right? Why great value? Because great value is a brand that's owned by Walmart. It's a Walmart private label brand. So we know that anyone selling it isn't going to be wholesaling, right? So we know that the other people on these listings are going to be arbitrage. And what SellerAmp is great for, as we'll see, is it's a reverse sourcing tool, right? It's a tool to look inside other people's catalogs and see what else they selling. What does the Keepa make sense on? Okay, let me now go look for that item profitably, right? So it's a similar way to, reverse sourcing wholesale and all that. Cool. So just coming down on here, we can see great value. So I'm gonna just open up some of these. What I'm gonna do is open up a bunch of these and then hop in and take a look at the Keepa, the stuff that the Keepa makes sense on. Then we're gonna go ahead and look for profitable, as well as taking a look at the people who have been on that for a while, see what else they're carrying. Then go ahead and look at that. So me personally, I don't love stuff that's under 20 bucks. Obviously, for sake of example, we'll go there. Just from a OA perspective, you don't have a ton of pricing flexibility on that. With wholesale, obviously, there's potential to lower your buy costs, negotiate with people, and everything like that. But me personally, I see a lot of OA sellers having success around like the 20 to 40 to $50 ASP, when with wholesale, you can tell me, mixing small and light, there's a lot of potential for a much lower ASP and some healthy margin on that. But cool, we'll just take a look at some of these, break down these, get a sense of how the Keepa charts are vibing and all that. So over here on the right, we can see, so this is SellerAmp right here. So just immediately coming in terms of, can look at what SellerAmp does over here. So it's basically, we can see red flag immediately, ranks too high on this 104K rank. If we take a look at this Keepa down here, we can see that although the competition is trending down a lot and the price is actually fairly stable in that, the rank is a lot higher here than I would like. If we hop in here in data, we can see the average rank, the 90 days, 66K, actually not that bad on everything. I'm going to hop here in offers within Keepa. So therefore I can see how long some of the sellers have been on it, right? So I'm hopping buy box statistics right here, see who's getting a majority of the sales, right? So we can see some decent review counts here in terms of who's getting a lot of the sales. And then I'm gonna hop over here to offers. And then I don't super trust these stock counts right here, but I do go over here and take a look and see when some of the competition on here was first seen, right? So we can see 7 months ago, 10 months ago, 11 months ago. There's a good indication that we can see these guys have high review counts and they've been on this item for a while, right? Or at least they were first seen on this item a while ago. So there's a good chance if they were on it 7, 10, 11 months ago and they're still on it, that it's a product that's worked well for them, right? We can reasonably assume that. And everything. And then in terms of actually just going ahead and sourcing it, right? So we can just pop up here, just hit the Google right there, which I'll do in a sec, as well as just kind of showing, I'll hit that first and we'll come back to it. So right here, looking at what our buy cost, so we want our buy cost to be in like the $5 range. If we can pay $5 for this, we would get decent profit per unit. Once again, I don't love this cheap stuff just because there's your profit per unit is going to be a lot lower on it, but in the wholesale model can definitely make sense. And so we want tropical trail mix right here from great value. It's obviously only going to be available at Walmart right here. Hopping over to Google Shopping, see tropical trail mix 26. This is actually going to be pretty close right here and everything. And I also, you can reasonably assume if you're repricing the way you should be, you can buy, but you can reprice above the buy box all the time. We can see this price history, right? So it's mainly in like the $15 range, and we can see that it's available right here on Walmart. right here. And we can see, so $5.68 and interesting. So it's not available at this Walmart in California. It's only available for order pickup. This is the kind of thing where like, maybe it does make sense, especially there, if maybe you reprice it like 15.75 right there. And once again, there's such a lack of price flexibility, but say plug it in like 6.0 right here, and then you're making 30%, but the profit per unit and the volume is really low. So I would personally stay away from this item, and we'll hop on to the next one right here. So this is similar in that we can see the BSR is not amazing right here. So I'll probably just hop out of this one as well. So we can get a low rank right here. So this one actually doesn't have a sales rank. We can see that it is moving from the Keepa right here. It's actually pretty stable, and it's at an ASP that I don't mind. Right there within SellerAmp over here, we can scroll down and see a nice UI of the other people that are on it, their stock counts, as well as their price action right here. So taking a look right here. So then within SellerAmp, we can pop open some of these other sellers and get a sense of the other products they're moving right here. So obviously on more crowded listings, you'd have a lot more sellers to choose from in terms of who to look at right here. We can see this is a multi-pack, and so it's moving at 32. So, I mean, if we can pay right $7.50 each, we pay 15, make 40%. Don't mind that. Check this out right here. So 526. This actually might end up being a buy right here. Is this the indulgent right here? Yes. This is a 2-pack of these, and at 568 right here, and we can add to cart, we can order it right here. So 568 there times 2. I don't love public math, right around 11.50 on that right here. And then this is actually going to end up being profitable right here. So this
1136 on that.
Yeah, and that's good too, right? And the thing is, right, with OA all the time, there's listings that are screwed up like this, where it's like it's a multi-pack. There's no UPC right here, so it's not like it's scanning directly through. So it's a unique opportunity where a bundle is profitable. And I don't know how much you get into this, but I know a lot of wholesale guys that do really well with bundles of stuff. So this is an interesting arbitrage example of that. And obviously, you want to look through and make sure it's the right thing right here, but it definitely 26 2-pack. It sure looks like the right thing. And maybe the packaging is a little off, but either way, I mean, that's as if someone orders this, they want a 26-ounce great value trail mix right there. So it actually ends up being profitable right there. And so we know this item's good, right? We found just from Googling it on a SellerAmp right here. And now we can take a look at the other people that are on it and do what's called, reverse sourcing storefront stocking on them. And this profit can't go, obviously, right? It's wholesale and arbitrage friendly and everything. But what a lot of people don't know about SellerAmp compared to some of the other ones out there is we have the whole back end in terms of the SaaS storefront view, where we can actually go ahead and take a look inside people's catalogs. And I can show you the difference here in terms of looking at it on SellerAmp versus looking not on SellerAmp. Right here, so I can just open this guy. We can pop in his storefront. We can see, we can't see any of the Keepa charts. We can't see, right, like any of the, besides the buy box, not much. But within SaaS right here, we can go and we can see all the brands he's carrying, as well as all the categories he's carrying. You could filter into a specific one right here. We can do like we were on the great value, right? Hop over here and see he only has 2 things listed right here. And then just looking at his main brands he's carrying, some of this stuff too cheap for what I'd want to look up. In terms of that, we can see this guy only has 2 reviews, so he's pretty new right here. Taking a look at this next seller, we can see they're a little bit more established. 7 reviews, 87 ASINs right here. And just scrolling through, we can see immediately this guy's cranking the sriracha right now. We can see
sriracha shortage,
dude. Yeah, and look at the ranks. The ranks low on these too. This is pretty good, right? Right here. So some of these are definitely going to be bolos. I'm gonna open up some of these just to show. So like, there's more of replens, and then there's more of bolos as well. This one right here is definitely going to be an example of a bolo. If we take a look at this Keepa, I'm sure it's going to be all over the place right here.
But what does a bolo mean?
Yeah, so it's the term for be on the lookout for. It basically means like a really hot item. You know what I mean? It's the kind of thing that like you can see. So this sales rank fell off a cliff right here for whatever reason, right? Early June. And then see how the price went crazy here. And if we look down at the competition, I know that it's going to be, it fell off a cliff right here. I'm sure that, I don't know what happened there. They might have IP complained to people, but I don't know. Clearly there's a ton of people on it here right now. Pretty interesting example right here, but I doubt this is, I would assume this is a retail arbitrage product, but all right, well, maybe this does end up being good. 28 ounce, damn, Instacart slanging these. So nine. Oh, interesting. You see how that retail changed? I think it was like 350 or whatever. And then now this definitely isn't good considering this is a 2-pack. They're I don't know, that is a good indication of the retail off the Google search, and then it changed right there. Yeah, you see 378. We open up there. So that would have been good, right? 378, a 2-pack. It ends up being like, oh, it definitely doesn't end up being good. What happened in the pricing? You can see the pricing way down. And that's the thing. You get a lot more price action in arbitrage than you do wholesale right here. Like it's really weird to see stuff randomly go crazy like this. But see, 3 weeks ago, this is the kind of thing where this was a little seasonal opportunity that was available here, and that at that original retail, right, we're paying we'll call it like 850 after everything, sales tax, whatever, right there. It's moving at 29. We're printing some serious money right there. And that's the thing. You see a lot more sporadic, like always, where you can find a lot of the big ROIs and everything. Just with big ROIs typically comes lack of replenishability. And in the wholesale and the replen model of OA, you have lesser ROI, but you do have that longevity. There's a major compounding effect to your catalog, which I'm sure is what you talk, a lot about building, which is really helpful on stuff. Cool. So we'll keep rocking and rolling in terms of live sourcing along right here. Close down some of these, just get a vibe, but we'll hop onto this next guy just so we're not searching for sriracha all night. Right here, so this is a good example. So this guy's 147 ASINs right here. And when you're in the game for a while, you then pick up, okay, this brand works better for me, or I know how to source this brand or category real well. And it becomes a lot easier to then filter it. You see top categories, different stuff like that, top brands, everything. And then you can hop in, right? Ubisoft, I think that's electronics. Oh, it's video games right here. So that's another niche people do really well. And Disney right here, this person's heavy on the video games. Electronic Arts is, I think, EA. I know they're going to be video games. And you can see right here, and see this Amazon's on it. Product to avoid, most likely. At least it makes it a lot harder in terms of competing with Amazon right here on this type of stuff. But yeah, we can just keep rocking and rolling in terms of their reverse sourcing side of things. So you can check out this next one. I'm actually going to click out of it automatically because I see that BSR is way too high. In my opinion, people really need to focus on stuff that's a lot lower BSR, just because you need liquidity in terms of if you need the money to get the money out, you need to be able to move stuff quick. And with the higher volume stuff, sure, the ROI might be a little bit less, but you can sell a lot more of them. And once I, really started making some money, right, 5 figures a month in profit, I was focused a lot more on the return of my capital rather than the percentage return on the capital, right, the total profit I was getting each month. And that came from a lot of, sure, I'm only making 20% ROI. Maybe it's less than 10% net on this item, but there's other stuff that offsets that, that's higher ROI and everything. But it was ultimately, right, churning capital. Because the nice thing is about this business, you know what I mean? Once you know what you're doing, it's just blocking and tackling. Will you show up every day to find profitable items? Yes, you're probably going to succeed. No, all right, maybe not the right thing for you and everything. But once you learn the basics, it's just blocking and tackling in terms of, go ahead and find stuff. Right here, so we can see estimated sales 13 a month. That's not going to work in terms of that. This one right here is actually pretty lit. We can see the sales rank is disgustingly low right here. Check in. So this is a meltable, so you would have to merge film. We can see the amp is letting us know that right here. So this does have variations. I'm a huge variation guy, to be honest, at least in the arbitrage space. Variations scare people away, different sizes, different colors and all that. And I want the items that scare newer sellers away, right? And so that's a lot of stuff. Shoes, clothing. I really like that niche on different stuff. A lot of couponability in that stuff as well, and everything like that. So just checking out some of this other stuff, right? Suave right here, price some some soap right here. So this rank's actually decent.
So a couple questions as we're doing this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
When you're going through and the first one that we saw, trail mix, for example, you're like, cool, I want to do this. You go to Walmart, you find it. So what quantities are you ordering? Is it like based off of you calculating your estimated monthly sales that you can make and trying to project for like a month? Are you just trying to clean them out, whatever they'll give you? How do you normally do that? I think I might have lost you.
Oh, my bad, man. Yeah. Oh, my bad. We're back here. Quantities. Very good question. We got my editor will fix this. Everything. Quantities. Yeah. So that's a great question. So I'm a fan of test ordering on everything, a couple of units. And I'm curious your thoughts on how you think about either test ordering or just understanding quantities from a wholesale perspective as well, because it's going to be helpful for my audience that's mainly arbitrage watching. So I'm curious how you think about test quantities or just quantities in general of purchases.
Yeah, for sure. So with wholesale, we're obviously creating a relationship with the supplier first. So out of the gate, we're going to know if this product is able to be reordered, if it's something that is, a closeout, a liquidation, kind of a one-time buy type thing. And so for us in our business and what I teach is you'll kind of base your estimated sales a little bit off of that. You know, if it's a replenishable item, you can order 12 of them just to try out, 24 of them to try it out. And you know that you can come back and buy it again, then absolutely, you know, take that time, test it out, see how it goes. Obviously, if it's a closeout, it's something that you can only buy one time. We're going to buy more so for like what we think a month or maybe a month and a half worth of inventory is going to be, because we know we can't come back to it. But end of the day, every single listing that we look at actually buying, we're going to use a tool. For us, we use AMZ Scout, and that tells us our estimated monthly sales. I see SellerAmp has that right there, estimated sales. Then we're going to take the competition that we think is our actual competition. Again, in wholesale, there's more of a tendency for people to stick around longer term.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. And that's a higher level of competition. That's a good sign on some cases.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're looking at, we go in here. We use OS Seller add-on, it's called. I see you actually have it there as well.
Oh, really? No, I just got a bunch of stuff from back in the day, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. Either way, it's basically this view. It'll tell you a little bit on the stock. It'll tell you who those sellers are. And then, so we're looking at who our competitive sellers are. Yeah. Right. So we're looking for like FBMs that are, 5 to 10% lower than us. We're looking at FBAs that are right and around that buy box. So like this one, for example, we would probably consider like 1 through 4 would be our competitive sellers.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. And if we want to be on this listing for kind of long term, we're going to take our monthly estimated sales. We're going to divide that by the number of sellers that would be our competition, add ourselves for a +1. So in this case, we would be taking the monthly sales, dividing it by 5. That's how many we think that we can reasonably sell within a month span. And then we're generally, if we're testing, we're going to do like 2-3 weeks worth of inventory. We might do like 1 to 2 months if it's something we can't buy again. And that's how we're kind of making our purchasing decisions. That's how we're determining what our quantities are going to be, right? So in some instances, and like with our business, we don't necessarily care a whole lot, right? We'll come in, and if we think we can sell 200 units per month, just our share, I'll go ahead and order, 160, 200, 300 units, because I've done the calc. I know that I'm going to be good to do so. Right. And if that number ends up being, 40, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do 40. So I'm not having to, and this is the nice thing about wholesale. That's why I want to kind of get it from an OA perspective, is like pretty much as many as you want to order. A lot of the time, if you're dealing with like brands and big distributors, they're either going to be able to fulfill that, or you can like put it on back order and have it come in if they can't fulfill it right away. Right. So I was just wondering, like from an OA perspective, do you think you can do X amount of sales? Like, are you just going to try to clean them out for what they have, or what's the logic there?
Yeah, so it's really just comes down to a small test order for the most part. It also depends, right? Capital availability is a big thing. I love the formulaic answer you had, and I think that makes a ton of sense. With wholesale, it totally does, because there's such a barrier to entry to buy these products. When OA, there's not. So you have to tread a little bit lightly, more in my opinion. Like you did, like order quantities, it can be tough to get a lot of stuff in some cases, especially some of the less expensive stuff, right? Some of the bigger sites, Walmart, Target, they don't need your money as bad as some of the smaller sites do. So some of the smaller sites will give you a lot more quantity in some cases, and in many cases have better pricing on stuff too. But absolutely. Yeah. And that is just good dialogue overall there in terms of looking at stuff. Right. And then, it's just pretty much, that's really all I do from a Keepa SellerAmp perspective, right? Just reverse sourcing items right there. So I'm a big fan of all that stuff. We got into and everything like that. And obviously, right, some of it isn't relevant from a wholesale perspective, but in terms of seeing your competition, seeing what your competition's carrying, and, easily, pulling some of the competition on that. Do you happen to have like a wholesale brand I could look up, or like something we could get a vibe with some of the wholesale type products with this strategy here?
Yeah, sure. We could definitely do something like that.
Yeah.
Let's grab
like something you sold like a year ago, or I don't know, even just a brand maybe that said no or something.
Yeah. Okay. Let's look at a brand. This is one I've used in trainings and stuff before. It's called Solgar, Solgar. Let's take a look at that. Let's see what you think from an OA perspective.
I got it. Oh, it looks like I definitely got it spelled right. Oh, so these are popping. Yeah. Review counts to the moon. We'll open up a couple of these. If you couldn't wholesale, there's a good chance probably can't OA it and everything. But if Yeah, if Amazon isn't on, oh, Amazon's Diamond Hand. Oh, Amazon. Are they on everything?
No,
Oh,
they
ah.
generally aren't on everything. This is one that I probably haven't looked at in a few months though.
Yeah. Let's check these.
Um,
Yeah, so it was
Maybe a
interesting.
lot
Yeah,
of
so
them
it's like
now.
they just hopped on it, yeah, in like 2021, basically. We'll pull up some more of these. Either way, though, it's all about like the functionality, right, of reading the Keepa and stuff, and then ultimately like because there's I saw there were third-party sellers on this, so it's very
Yeah.
relevant to looking at their catalogs and everything. So right here, okay, so we see Amazon's
Oh, we
diamond
got
handing.
Amazon taking over. Bad
Yeah,
example.
I wonder if they're sharing any though. And okay, pretty much no. Damn, look at the review counts on these guys. That's insanity right there.
Yeah, we see a lot of that
Reviews.
in our.
Oh, I'm sure. And those guys, that's actually where, in my opinion, review count does affect buy box share. Wow, check this out. Everyone merchant fulfilling. Interesting. So yeah, these guys might be drop shipping it, to be honest. Vitamin for life. And either way, I can just see what I assume these guys are gonna have thousands of ASINs. Yeah, probably a drop shipper, or no, probably not. They probably are wholesale because they have really good feedback to be drop
Yeah,
shipping. And they have
yeah,
I mean, that's 10 mil plus of revenue at least at a really low ASP. They're ripping reviews.
yeah.
Strong stuff. But yeah, right.
That's
So
a
say
big
this
seller.
was, wholesale on a wholesale product that did make sense in terms of what you were looking for. Okay, so I see that this is a product I want. There's other people that are selling it, right? Okay, I can hop into SellerAmp and easily scroll through the vibe of the pricing, the different brands they carry, and right just immediately here, you'd have a list of everything. You click into specific ones, scroll down to the Keepas, like, oh, here we go. Okay, so this is a wholesalable one for the most part, right? You can see Amazon isn't on any of it at scale. They were on this one a little bit, that one as well, but one of these ones Amazon isn't on. Let's see if I can pull one of the smaller review count sellers from here, and it's FBA. That's a good sign right here. Oh, a little map action, I would assume, in terms of that price stability right there. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful right there. You'll never see that in OA pretty much. And everything. And just hop down here to this count, and then here we go. Okay, let's see if we can get someone with smaller review count right here. It's looking a little difficult on that right
Big
here.
guys.
Yeah, so this is, I assume, an account that's really hard to get and everything. So let's look in, right, hop in here. This guy doesn't have a lot of ASINs for his review count right there. That's pretty impressive right there. And then see now, okay, here we go. Here are a ton of other brands that you might want to reach out to for a distributor list or something like that. So yeah, man, that's a good 20-minute session there of how I like to source, right? Keep a SellerAmp nice and simple on that, checking out what successful people are selling, items that make sense based on my criteria, then going out and looking for those items profitable. So that's basically the thesis and methods I use to do some decent stuff with OA the past year or so.
That was awesome. It is really as easy as that. So thanks guys for sitting in. Hope that you guys got immense value out of this and gave a little bit of insight to you on how some of the other business models will generally work and how you could potentially also make nearly $2 million in the last 12 months like Miles currently is. That's all I have for you guys in this video. If you guys have not already, please consider hopping down to smash that like button. Also, make sure that you're subscribed and you're hitting that little notification bell to let you know every single time that I post a new video. Completely free to do and helps out the channel more than you guys could ever know. That's it for this one, and we'll see you guys in the next video.